Hey everybody, I'm going to give you a little primer on your next PBL, which is write a letter. And the idea of this is to write a letter to engage in government. The way you engage in government is you vote first of all, but after you vote, of course, it doesn't stop there. You need to interact with your representatives, and your representatives should interact with their constituents. So we are going to interact. Um, I want to point out, first of all, that this starts on November 11th, and you are supposed to turn in um, your PBL step one, which is the slide, which is the form, which I'm going to go over in a minute. Really, you should have this done no later than the 13th, ideally early on the 13th if you're going to do it then. But take your time and figure out something that you want to do. Don't rush into something, but know that every day that you take to decide, and I do know deciding is the hardest part, um, is a day less you have for everything else. So Thanksgiving break is kind of our drop dead deadline. I want this in by Thanksgiving so I can have Thanksgiving to grade it and to reflect on where to go next. Um, and we are coming up at the end, and you don't want to leave this later. So just keep in mind with the day by day, look at when the assignments are due and everything and what else is due, and then make sure to check the slides every day also, in case I post other information to help you or feedback to help you. Okay, so when we go to the career ready class, you'll see it's all laid out for you. Step 1, 2, 3, and 4 are out of order. I did see that, but really 3 and 4 are kind of at the same time, and you can interchange them if you want. You can record your presentation before you write your letter, or you can write your letter before you do your presentation. But step 1 is absolutely a must. And then step 2 is the second thing you're going to do. So do those in order. Okay, so if you go to write a letter step 1, you have the instructions. I'm really tired. So, you're going to pick a topic, and you are going to become an expert on this topic, which means you're going to read a lot, and you're going to talk about this with people, hopefully, and you are going to know enough about this topic so that you can sound smart about it. That's your goal. Okay, you have several days. The minimum references is 3, but really, you really need to look at about 10 or 12. Not saying you have to use all of them, but you really should find 10 or 12 articles or sources to read about the issue that you're doing, in order to really, do this well, in order to really get a really good grasp of it, okay? Some topics there's going to be less out there than others, like if you do a national big thing, lots of people study it, lots of people publish on it. If you just do a small little issue at Shepherdsville, you might talk to some people, go out and find a couple of people that have lived in the city, or maybe a city council or somebody affected by this issue, and interview them. You can use an interview as a source. So step 1 is to pick your topic. You can pick any topic you want. You can pick a local topic in Shepherdsville or Mount Washington. You can pick a state level for Frankfurt, or a federal level. And I had somebody do the school board last year, and I was really happy with what they did. So, if you have another entity you want to write to, as long as it's an elected representative, that's fine. The way I worded this, with what problem issue you like to see addressed, one of the hardest things you have to do is to pick a topic. And one thing I suggest is think about what you complain about, or think about what you hear other people complain about. It's a problem. What you really want to do is have government solve your problems. So, what is a problem that you or your family or friends deal with in your life, their lives? And then, hey, that's what government could change. Like, government's supposed to make our lives better, ideally. So if you're having a hard time thinking of a topic, just think of the problems you have. And then tell me your proposal for a solution. This can change. You should not change your topic, but you can change what you want to do about it. That's not as big a deal. And then tell me where you're going with your letter. Are you going to write it to somebody in Frankfurt, write it to somebody in city council local, or write it to your national representative in DC? So that's the PBL. Do that. That's the step one. Do that first. Don't start on it until you get approval. Okay. The last thing I want you to do is to start doing 2 or 3 days of research and start writing stuff down and then have me shoot you down. And the reason I'm trying to do it, the reason I'm trying to approve everything is because I'm trying to save you work. I mean, you don't want to try to tackle an issue this big when it really needs to be more focused. Or you don't want to start doing something that's really in the private sector and that the government has very little say in. Or maybe you pick a topic and I just happen to know that there's not a lot of good research out there. So, all right, that's step one. Step two is complete the slide presentation on your topic. So you guys are going to create the slideshow. I have examples here of the presentation. This is one that I did. I didn't link one that other students did in the past. But do your research. Like I said, you need to spend the bulk of your time reading and becoming smart about it. Don't just halfway do it. I can tell when students kind of read the minimum and it's more opinion than fact. I'm going to talk about, actually, I'm talking about that right now. Must be at least 6 slides long. You have to have a reference page and your name and title on the first page. You need to include, what topic you're talking about and why does this affect the community or why is it important. The bulk of what you're going to put is going to be fact-based, or here's is there data, is there tell me about the issue. Don't tell me the opinions right away. I know you have an opinion about it, but I want you to educate a voter. I want you to educate other students in the room. What is the topic, on background information on the topic? Why should they care? How does it affect your community? How does it affect you? Give me some factual substance first, and then at the end of the presentation, when you have your proposal, then tell me your opinions. Okay. But the whole thing should not be opinions. The great bulk of this should be to inform a voter on why they should care about the issue. Then you're gonna write a letter, and the way I would do it is to go into Google Docs and use a template. So I'll show you how to do that right here. Here's the criteria for grading for the letter. We are going to mail it. You can send it to me and I'll mail it if you want, or you can mail it and you just have to show me a little proof of you mailing it off, and then you get the last 20 points. Sometimes we get letters back, or sometimes we get responses back, and it's always fun to know that we get our voices heard. Sometimes we don't. And sometimes they read our letters, but they don't have time to write us back. So just depends on how good we do, and depends on who we send it to, and depends on how busy they are. So let me show you. If you go to Google Docs, and this is the virtual learning. Let's go to new. Right here is the templates. So you can use one of these templates, okay? And all you have to do is fill in, and that helps make sure that your letter is well done. Now, this template is okay. I'm going to tell you what to do with this template, and then you can make adjustments on the other templates if you find a better one. First of all, nothing should be bolded. Okay, so on here there's some bolds and some different colors. Absolutely not. There should be nothing bolded unless it's in the body because you want to emphasize something. The rest of this is okay. And then I would do my best to get rid of this little thing up here. If it's left there, that's fine. But your name is not bolded. It is down there. And then you're going to sign your name right here. So you sign your name between sincerely and your name printed. And you can put a title underneath your name. You can put, your constituent 5th district, or you can say, students, whatever you want to call yourself. That's optional, but you can do it. Okay, so that's how I would recommend doing the letter. And then the last part is the presentation. So I'm going to incorporate some technology in here. You guys have to become competent with technology. As we know, the world has changed, and people are looking for people with technology skills. So here's your opportunity to prove yourself. You guys can use Zoom or Screencastify, which is a Chrome extension. I do most of my recordings with Screencastify, but I know Ms. Todd does Zoom. So either one of those will work. You're going to have to play around with it. And I probably wouldn't use the first presentation you do. I would definitely record once, watch yourself, see how you can make it better, and then re-record yourself doing a better job. It might take a little bit of practice. It's fine. I mean, it might take you 30 minutes to do it, but you're going to give it in less than 6 minutes. Okay, so I don't want you to talk for 12 minutes. I think 4 minutes is a long time. I think 2 minutes is probably way too fast. But you're going to go through your presentation and go through slide by slide and then add something to the slides. Okay, don't just read what's on the slides. I want you to have a slideshow that's good for reading and visually appealing, which means that you can't put a lot of information on the slides, right? So you're going to have to talk while your slides are up. You might have a script of paper in your hand, so you can read that script of paper. That might work very well. But I don't want you to just read your slides. I can read the slides. I want you to be persuasive about why I should care about the topic, and take your time on that and do a good job of making a good presentation to convince other voters and myself that your topic is important to me and that I should care about this thing that you care about, and then try to persuade me to agree with you to make a change. And then we can form a coalition, and a block of voters can make a bigger difference than a single voter. Okay? You do not have to show your face on the presentation. You can choose to show your face, that's fine. You can just share your screen and talk over your screen. That's fine too, okay? I wouldn't mind seeing your face, but it's not terribly important. I put the due dates here. I didn't fill it in. I'm gonna leave this up to the day by day. You're gonna really turn this in by Thanksgiving, okay? Here's some examples of things people have done in the past. Legalized marijuana was always a big one. So that could go to the state. The states decided to legalize or handle marijuana ahead of the federal government. So you can encourage a national change by writing a certain representative, or you can advocate for a state change by writing a representative in Frankfurt. School lunch sizes, may complain about the size of school lunches. I thought that was a great gripe. I thought that, deserved a letter. Highway safety, that was a tough one, but the kid did a lot of research on it. Drug overdose programs. So what happens when EMTs revive people? She took what they were doing in Ohio, and I think it was West Virginia, or maybe it was Pennsylvania or somewhere. She wanted Kentucky to do what they were doing. Programs for young people. So this student said, there's nothing to do in Shepherdsville, and me and all my friends always drive into Louisville, and we spend all our money in Louisville, and it becomes an economic issue also, as well as kids are doing dangerous stuff here because there's nothing fun to do. I find something you're interested in, find something that you care about, hopefully. And I know that's tough. Like right now you care about graduating. But we're in this community together. I hope that you care about, your neighbors. I hope you care about yourselves. I hope you care about your tax dollars. I hope you care about where you live. Certainly I've heard everybody complain about something in the community. So, okay. But that's PBL. that'll take us all the way to Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys take your time on it. The biggest thing I can tell you to do is to read and research, show that you learned something, show that you're, um, show that you become an expert on the topic. Okay.